Howdy, my name is David Taylor, coming to you as always from beautiful Houston, Texas, and today I am trying to talk to people interested in the Honda CBR300R. That's this beautiful bike right in front of you, a magnificent testimony to the glory of human innovation. So I got to tell you a little bit about my bike riding experience because I think I'm talking to a particular set of people, and I'll try to get that properly in the title. This is my first motorcycle. Before this motorcycle, I'm 38 years old. Before this motorcycle, I had never ridden a motorcycle in my life. Worked on a couple, been around them, but never really took it seriously, didn't think about it, you know. Rode bikes when I was a kid and stuff like that, but it was never a big thing for me. You know what I mean? I was never super interested in it. Then my son got a Z125, and I rode that around a little bit, and I was like, wow, actually, this is actually a lot of fun. So I wanted to go buy a bike, but I didn't want to get something crazy. I didn't want to get something that was going to be too much for me. I wanted something that I could learn on and, you know, see if I even liked it, see if I wanted to invest a big amount of money, because these are surprisingly inexpensive vehicles. And so, you know, it's like a tester bike, like a novice bike, you know, do I want to do this? Can I do it well? Is it something I'm going to like? And this was what I ended up purchasing, mostly because it fit all those categories for me. It was something that I could learn on. It was something that didn't cost a whole lot of money, something that's very, very cheap to operate and maintain and insure, and something that looks good, it looks cool, it's fast, it's fun. You know, but it's not a huge bike. It's not a very powerful engine, and it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna take off without you. You know what I mean? Like, if you can ride a BMX or a mountain bike, you can ride this bike. It's really not that difficult. So this video is for a novice, somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience, someone who is thinking about riding motorcycles, wants to try it out, doesn't know which direction to go. And there's a lot of good options. This is just the one I'm recommending. It's the path I chose. I'm pretty happy about it. And so but, you know, obviously by this point, if you're an experienced rider, unless you just happen to want to get one of these in particular models, you know, you could probably hop off from here. But if you aren't, if you're trying to find a good choice, you're trying to get started, you want to know what it's about, here you go. Now, the first thing, if you are new, is get a good motorcycle helmet, right? I got this Shoei one. This was expensive. You know, it was like $400 for that helmet. But it's a good helmet. You want something that's going to fucking protect you and keep you from dying, just in case. You know, it's a dangerous business riding bikes. Maybe I should move it off the bike. The Shoei makes really good helmets. There are several brands now that are pretty good. I like this one. I didn't get the tinted. I leave that. I do wear sunglasses, you know, the tinted ones when I'm riding. But I didn't get the tinted visor because occasionally I will ride at night. The most important thing I can say about your helmet choice is make sure you get fitted. When you go to buy it, they'll put a tape measure literally around your head. And like the smallest, it's tight. It's tight on me. And here's another little tip that I had to find out by myself. These two straps, your helmet, you should have to pull these out to get it on your head. Okay? It should be snug on your head. All right? It shouldn't be loose. It shouldn't be bouncing around and stuff like that. So you want a nice, good fitting helmet that has, you know, like this one's got like little breather things and stuff, so you can open these up on the front and it'll let air through. Along the face. There's another opening. There it is on the front right there. See, so it lets air flow through it, which is good in the summertime. Not so much in the winter. That's another thing people don't tell you about riding motorcycles. It's fucking cold on the motorcycle, okay? It is cold. It'll pierce through. When you're going at 40 to 70 miles per hour or something like that in the wind, it's cold. And, you know, a lot of people are like, man, you're riding that thing around in the summer, it's so hot. But it's not hot except when you're at a light. When you're moving, it feels great, man. It's awesome. You know, when it's 80, 90 degrees outside, especially here in Houston, Texas, where I live. You know, it's hot most of the year. And when you're moving through the air, it feels great. But when it's cold outside, like right now, I think it's like 40 degrees. Luckily, I'm standing in the sun, but it'll get cold. So just there you go. Anyway, so the CBR300R, I've gotten it to go up to as fast as 102 miles per hour, but my little ass weighs only 136 pounds. So if you're a bigger guy, you know, if you're clocking in at, you know, 220 plus or something like that, this is probably not the bike for you. You know what I mean? This is probably for smaller individuals. It is like I said, it's a single cylinder engine, and it's not super crazy powerful. There's a little motor right there. Hey, little guy. Oh, look at that little guy. But it's nice, man. It's a nice bike. And I can only tell you about my experience. I think a bigger guy would, you know, maybe get like, if you don't want to go too fast, but you're a bigger guy, get a 500 series. They're not hugely more powerful than these, but they are bigger, and they'll probably carry your weight better. So if you're 200 or under, get a 300. If you're over 200 pounds, then get a 500. All right, because it won't take off in you, I promise. The 500 is just like a beefier version of the 300. But I think these bikes are nice. They're classy. They look good. This bike takes about like 3.5 gallons when you fill it up. It gets about 75 miles per gallon, which is freaking awesome, dude. You know what I mean? It cost me $100 about a year to cover it. Liability insurance, $100 for 1 full year of coverage. $100 for 1 full year of coverage. Yes, isn't that cool? So if you're gonna ride this thing to work, if you're gonna commute and do things like that, or you just wanna have a little bit of fun on the weekends and stuff, you know, want to try it out, this is definitely an excellent bike. Now the only problems I've had with this bike was at one point, it got some kind of loose gasket or something inside, and it started dropping oil out of the engine. So I had to, and you know, Honda did a great job, man. I took it back up to the dealer, Honda of Houston. Here, it's off of Huffmeister Road in 290. But what happened was it was burning up the oil inside somehow. So one of the things you want to do before you ride is you lean the bike straight, like that, see? See how the oil's coming in there? That's called a sight glass. And that lets you know that there's oil in the motor. So one of the things you need to do before you ride is check that. You want to check that. What's some other stuff? You want to check your tire pressure, right? Generally. You want to check your chain. Take a look at your chain. Is your chain links all there? Is it got a good amount of tension on it? Are you keeping it clean? You know what I mean? You want to definitely clean the bike. But outside of that, I haven't had any real issues with it. I've had a lot of fun riding it. It's a fast little zippy bike. I've really enjoyed it. But again, it is not a power bike, you know. It's going to go as fast as your normal, you know, whatever, your Honda Civic or something like that. You know, it's not a race car. It is faster on the get up and go, and it's so light. I think it weighs like 298 pounds with fuel and oil and everything in it. And you can move it around, man. It's easy to move. It's easy to get in and out of your garage or wherever you store it. It's easy to maneuver it through vehicles. You know, like this morning I had to get it between my 2 cars getting out of my driveway. Well, my wife and our cars. And so, you know, it's easier to do that with a lighter bike. The 600 and plus series bikes are twice as big and twice as heavy, you know. Let's see. Okay, so on the front here, this is about all I have going. I've got this right here. In my helmet, I put in some Bluetooth headphones. The speakers kind of sit in there, and you kind of tuck them under you. When you get the helmet, all the cushion stuff in the middle will pop out. You can take it out to wash it, and so you take that stuff out, you put in the speakers, you know, and then you put the stuff back in there, and they just sit in there. And then I had to get like some glue to stick them in there. And then I got this little guy on Amazon. So you plug the phone in there, and you can listen to your music and stuff like that. Don't text and ride your motorcycle. And you won't really be able to, because you need both hands to operate. Now, if you don't know, and I don't know what you know, so I'll just assume that you don't know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know. But the right-hand side on every bike that I've encountered since starting to ride, this is the brake, right? And that's the front brake. And then it has another brake down here where your foot goes, right? That's the back brake. And then this right here is the clutch. So you pull on that when you want to change gears. And then down here, that pedal, right there, is the gear shifter. So you go, when you start it, I usually click mine into neutral. I'll start it, and then you push down once to get it in the first gear, and you slowly let off the clutch as you slowly pull the throttle this way. And you do those two things at the same time, and as you let off the clutch and pull the throttle, you will start moving forward. And you don't have to worry about too much about it, like jumping and stuff like that. You know, it'll pull you forward. Once you've gotten in the first gear and you're moving, then you pick, so down for first, and then up, and you keep going up. If you want to know how many gears there are, at least for the Hondas, you can see it right here. See, so this bike has 6 gears: first, neutral, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, whatever. It's really easy to do though. Just give yourself a little practice time, and it's a great bike to learn how to do things well. If you're like me, you're gonna get good at it extremely fast. This bike, let's turn it on. All right, so you click that on, you click this down, and then you hit. There you go. It's got the time, it's got a trip counter, speed in miles per hour, kilometers, and your fuel tank. This particular bike I got has ABS. I highly recommend that you get ABS if you're new to riding. This is kind of what it sounds like. You can hear it. A lot of people take these off and put on, they take them off and they just move the license plate up to here. So you can do that if you want. A lot of people get aftermarket exhausts. I haven't messed with it. I don't plan to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. The stock version. I'll probably get a bigger, faster motorcycle now that I've had it for about a year. I'm getting pretty good at it. I think I'm ready to move up. And I think if you're into it, you will be too. All right. And one of the worst things about this is when you get like with groups of people that are riding motorcycles too, and they're on like 600s or 1000s, you can be like, wow, that motorcycle's a lot faster than mine. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. It's an awesome commuter bike. Oh, that's a warm right there. It's got disc brakes, right, on the front and back. I think the way to tell the ABS, the guy told me, and I'm not a big mechanic guy. I'm a fabricator, but I'm not. But I think this right here is how you tell if something has an ABS. I could be wrong about that. Fact check me, please. This has 2 lights on it. Right, so you see the 2 lights shining, but that's one with the high lamp. So you can turn this off there. Now you'll see that only the 1 light is on. So I had the high beam on. I usually leave the high beam on, except at night. Just because I think it looks cooler with both of the lights on. People always ask me, hey, one of your lights are out. I'm like, no, it's not out. It's not supposed to be. I leave them both on most of the time. But man, I'm just saying, this is a great bike. It's a great beginner bike. It's a $5,000 with ABS. You know, it cost me $100 a month. I put $2,000 down on it. It's a nice bike. I added these little strip things. I got them on Amazon. It was like $8 or something. Goes along the tires, and they're like the same stuff they use on stop signs. So when you shine lights across them at night, they're really reflective, and you want to be visible. It's dangerous riding bikes. You have to be very conscious of what you're doing. Here's the sounds like. Anyway, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of good 300R videos on YouTube, so I wanted to make one. So there you go. It's a pretty cool bike. If you like riding, or if you want to start riding, and you want to start with something that's reasonable, that's not too expensive, that's not too fast, you know, maybe you've got to talk your wife into it or something like that, this is a great choice. Now let me turn the video around for a little bit. Okay, so get you one of these, right? It's got guards on the arms, guards on the shoulders, guards on the front. All right, so when you land on the ground, you won't get all torn up. You want to be wearing boots and pants, helmet, gloves. All right, put your safety gear on, man. It's important, dude. You know, a lot of guys that have been hurt because they're not wearing their stuff. If they had their gear on, they'd been fine. But there she is, man. She's a beautiful bike. She's a lot of fun to ride. Definitely recommend it for you novices and first-timers. But again, the absolute truth is that after a while, if you really like it, you're going to want something faster. So just keep that in mind. It will happen. It happened to me. Everybody told me the same thing. I was like, all right, well, we'll see. But they were right. I do want to go faster. Maybe it's just human nature. But as far as getting to work, you want to commute on it and stuff like that, it's a great choice. It's going to help out a lot. It is more dangerous, I understand that, to drive around on the bikes. But also, it's so much cheaper. It's so inexpensive. It lets you keep all those miles off your vehicle. And you pay your vehicle off, you can get one of these instead. And say goodbye to those big car payments, man. And all that insurance money and stuff like that. Okay, well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions about the CBR300R, feel free to hit me up at davidthewelder3@gmail.com or leave a comment. I try to answer everybody's comments where possible. All right, y'all have a good one.